What is that
Hello.
noise?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the super gonna do it this time.
Yeah, we're not gonna blue ball you again this time. We're literally doing Star Fox Command for the Nintendo DS.
I love how you use the term
can
blue.
save us.
I love how you use the term blue balling as to imply that people were actually anxious about this.
So
Well, I'm sure there's many people in the fanfiction community that were, but for the rest of us, welcome.
I'm playing this on Wii U. Years ago, a scientist named Dr. Andros became obsessed with controlling the Lilac system. If you've watched any of our Star Fox games before this, you know the story.
If you've seen any Star Fox game, period, you know this story.
Yeah, because they keep remaking it. But as you can already tell from the top screen there, Star Fox Command was a pretty unique entry after things like Assault and 64, because Star Fox Command wanted to, it strived to actually like recapture the classic glory days of the original Super Nintendo NES game.
Even though it's still clearly going for the 64 canon.
64 canon, and there's the GameCube canon when the
Assault.
With the what were they called?
The
Insectoids.
The Aproids, yeah.
Well, these aren't the Aproids. This is a new menace that's literally being controlled by an anglerfish.
The Anglers.
The Anglers.
They were located in the Toxic Venom Sea. And,
Did you just say Venom?
Yes. Well, the idea is that from what I've gathered, after Andros fell away, there was like a power gap, and so the Anglers kind of invaded in and took over.
And what a time for that to happen, because around the same time, the Star Fox team disbanded.
Yeah, there was so much peace that they're all over the place. So Fox McCloud is like the only sort of active member with Rob. So he's been trying to he's just been kind of like in a midlife crisis, I guess, not sure what to do. Peppy.
Well, speaking of those getting past their midlife crisis,
General Pepper unfortunately fell ill, and he no longer could lead the command force. So now Peppy is the new general.
Isn't that awesome?
Honestly, I could totally see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Brash pilot Falco Lombardi lived as a loner because he's too cool for friends.
He doesn't give a shit about anybody.
So
and
he
now
just
the
kind of does
best
his own
one
thing.
of all.
Oh yeah, by the way, Slippy got a girlfriend in between games.
Oh, okay.
Slippy met and fell in love with a girl named Amanda.
That's cute.
They
Please.
decided to leave the world of flying and start a new life with his beloved fiancée.
And of course,
And
there's still
Star
Star
Wolf.
Wolf. They're still the same pricks as per usual.
Pigma's still super total dead, so
Yeah.
it's just Leon, Wolf, and Panther.
Although, that being said, there is a side story in this game where apparently Pigma's spirit lives on. Oh yeah, by the way, remember Crystal?
Really?
The lone female of the group, she had fought beside Fox.
I couldn't tell if that rally was for Crystal or for Pigma.
Pigma.
So her love was returned, except unfortunately Fox was quite wary of the danger that haunted them, so he didn't want Crystal to suffer a fate like his father did, so he forced Crystal to leave.
Yeah, which
He was
I understand his reasoning, but that's still rather boneheaded of him to do.
you could have at least said like, hey, stay here
She's
to be
proved
safe.
herself as an ace pilot.
Right. Yeah.
So now Fox is all by himself, trying to take on the entire Angler Armada. Can he do it?
Spoiler warnings, not really.
No.
He's gonna need some help.
Oh, and as you can hear, they're even going back to the classic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
voice
did
effect
it.
from
that
the
was-
original.
because on the Nintendo DS, you can only get away with so much voice acting before it just pretty much filled up the DS cart.
Although there is something really cute that you can still do on Wii U, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to worry James. So the fun fact about all these voice effects is they're all using the same voice samples, just pitched up and just pitched differently.
Right.
So what you can do is from the options menu, you can actually tap a couple like commands, and it'll say, okay, read these words. What day of the week is it? Wednesday. It's Thursday, whatever. What is your favorite color? Purple. No, it's not. It's green. What is your favorite fruit to eat? Banana. No, it's a pear. Regardless, I'm just saying things off the top of my head that are all incorrect. But basically, after you would say all these words, it would then use your voice samples, and all of these effects could be being pitch shifted samples of your voice.
Oh, that's cool.
it doesn't change too much. Like Rob would still sound like all high pitch and squeaky. Falco would still sound like yeah, deep and bassy. But it's
Or here's another interesting question. Probably not in the game, but I'd like to see it anyway. When was your great grandfather's birthday?
Yeah, and you can make it so that all they do is just.
you could do that. It'd be really funny, actually.
Correct.
Anyway, if you're wondering why this is going so slow, originally I was thinking we would voice act this, but I also realized the story kind of gets really out of hand and really long-winded.
It's very standard, for lack of a better word. Like, there is a plot here for sure, but say for like several instances, it feels a little
Cliche.
cliche. I guess I'd say more so mundane.
Yeah.
It's very by the books, but when it comes to the story, it's practically a visual novel game.
Yes, it is. It really is that. In fact, well, obviously with this first campaign, yes, I said first campaign. There's several you can do in this game. You're going on a set path, but once you get what they call the key of destiny, you can pretty much go into a whole bunch of different like side paths which can change the story dramatically. Like there's one where Fox just ponders, where's Falco? And then all of a sudden the entire game just becomes a Falco-centric story and just says screw it to Fox.
Right. There's a whole thing, and spoilers. This is my first time ever playing the game, so A, some failures may happen, and B, you'll get to see me unlock the key of destiny. But it basically does something like what Shadow the Hedgehog did, where there are branching stories. Not nearly as many as Shadow the Hedgehog, but still enough that it's a pretty substantial amount of replayability.
All things considered, Logan, it's funny you say that, because if I remember correctly, Shadow the Hedgehog has 10 endings, 11 if you count the true ending. Star Fox Command only has 9. So they were only off by about 1.
Enemy sighting.
Yeah.
Alright, so now for the main gameplay of Star Fox Command. It's pretty much a straight-up strategy shooter kind of game.
You have a certain amount of fuel that each ship has its own set amount of fuel, which determines how far that ship can fly via a path I just traced with a stylus on the screen. Those red dots represent enemy groups that are on the move, and the number of arrows determines how fast they're going to move. Wait, no, I need to move first.
Don't go wasting that turn before you make your move.
I want to try to move in such a way that I attract as many enemies to me as possible so I can fight them in waves.
Right.
Because you only have because that many turns there is how many turns it'll take for these groups of enemies to reach the ship. So there we go.
Engaging now.
So now, until I destroy these two enemy events, I can't continue moving, which is fine because I want to get rid of these guys. So,
right, that's the main goal. That's the main goal of this stage.
So welcome to Star Fox 1 again.
In a matter of speaking, this is more along the lines of Star Fox 2, which honestly, let's just get right to brass tacks. Star Fox Command, for all intents and purposes, is basically a fully released Star Fox 2, if given a bit of a more modern makeover.
Before the actual Star Fox 2 got released.
Yes.
So, the controls are a little iffy, where you have to use, I believe you use the
stylus to move your
steer around, and then you can draw little circles to spin. You can tap. It's actually now this took me a little bit to learn. The way they do super bombs in this game are actually a lot cooler, which is there we go, charge. Which is and if you spin, you quickly you quickly grab any tokens beside you. So I'll be doing that a lot.
Yeah, well, the barrel roll in this game is literally your best friend. It pretty much sucks in anything besides enemies, of course.
And you can do it constantly, and some ships can do it faster.
It's honestly broken in some regard.
Yeah.
Oh, and to quickly finish up that thought, the super bombs in this game work like this, where you see the B icon on the right there. That actually stands for super bomb, and I technically have two, I believe. One is the B, and then the stock slot is below it. You click. Okay, get the green. You click. Nice. You would tap and drag the super bomb onto the grid, and wherever you release it, an airstrike bomb is released onto the field. So you don't even have to be facing the enemy to kill them.
Oh yeah, it's honestly the best usage of smart bombs in the franchise. It's just a shame that it's tied to something that you can't really mimic unless you're playing it on a dual screen or something.
Yeah.
Hold it right there.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get you.
Ow, my rear end!
Last thing to note is the time, which went up a bit. The other part that can make this a little stressful is you also have a limited number of time per
Turn?
stage.
Oh,
Right.
No, like
Yeah.
that timer there, Jay. I'm sorry, that timer there, Hype, where it says 115 counting down. That is how much time I have for every battle. Like if let's say there was a 5th battle or a 4th battle I didn't show yet, Hype. If I had to leave this match right now, I would still only have 100 seconds in that next match.
Right. So grab any of those floating sphere neutron thingies if you can, because they extend your time.
Right, we need more fuel. So if either you take too much damage, or if you run out of fuel, you use a life.
Right.
I want to ask, like, are there instances where the timer will be a little bit more lenient? Like, for example, say you enter a boss area, will the timer change?
Nope.
No.
You will have, if you have 5 seconds into that boss fight, you will have 5 seconds into that boss fight. However, I believe the fuel is locked to whatever ship you're using, because spoilers, we will be able to use multiple ships. I think for the first time in Star Fox history in story mode.
They kind of tried something similar with Star Fox 2, where you had a buddy on standby outside of your first character. But no, like this is like the first time in the Star Fox history where you have access to like straight up. You can have like 3 to 4 ships at any given time, depending on if the story will allow it.
Nice. And as you saw there, if you can clear the mission with as few turns as possible, you can get 1-ups. You also can train trace amounts of chrome, which is all nice and hydrodynamic.
So
Jordy, what's your experience been like with Star Fox? I don't know if we've asked you about like that stuff.
I think a better question is why did you abandon us for all our other Star Fox adventures?
Well, I think I can answer both of those questions. So, first of all, I'll answer James's question. I wasn't particularly, interested at the time. Because, I tried, getting into the... What was it, Star Fox 64? Or was it like
It was
a remake?
64, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I thought it was alright. It just, the story itself wasn't really piquing my interest as much. And, that being said, to answer Logan's question, I don't have, I've known about Fox since the first Smash Brothers came around, but I never knew about, the lore. I just knew about the characters.
Yeah, similar to what I did. To how I felt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, even though the entire Star Fox team disbanded, Slippy has absolutely no problem joining Fox as if it were that.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
he was actually
they're
really
just
good.
they're lifelong friends.
Yeah.
He is like the one last good friend Fox had, and he's like, gosh dang it, Slippy, why did it have to be you?
Oh come on, they were school buds.
Aw.
Yeah.
That is true, that is
Yeah, Fox is the one that kept the bullies off his back.
true. Aw, I didn't know that. Send me the
Well, they
deal for
never
the
say
rendezvous.
that, but would you really be surprised?
Also, I will say, I actually love Slippy ship the most in this game.
It's
Yes.
I like the damage for it,
it's one of the few ships in the game that gives you a straight up plasma shot.
which is great. You can't lock on, but it has so much power to it. You get me a missile. Okay, so here's the issue. That red area represents some sort of obstruction or some sort of EMP or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't cross it, and there are many enemies approaching the Great Fox.
Ooh boy.
So,
Oh dear.
so it's time for a really cool cheese method, which is if you have missiles, you can use them to automatically wipe out a force of enemies, no matter how great, which can immediately
Ooh.
stop a fight. However, in that instance, I want to knock out. There we go. Oh, and if you drag your stylus over a green dot while you're flying, you will automatically.
Extend your time.
You'll automatically get further. Oh,
Oh,
there you are,
Slip.
Slippy. Jeez.
Wow.
Sorry to
His
keep you
own
waiting.
modified ship.
I don't know
join
if
the
he still
fray?
sounds like that or not.
Sure, no problem.
Well, honestly, these days, he pretty much does. Like, I think they brought in I don't think if not the same actress. No, I think it was the same actress from Star Fox 64. They've pretty much been using her for every other game now, especially Starlink.
Well, let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these guys.
I mean,
There we go.
I think I said it before. I'll say it again. I gotta give the actors, well, the actors that they can bring back, kudos for sticking true to their role, even like 20 years later.
Oh yeah, they definitely have been getting
There
better.
we
Like
go.
I think it's safe to say that Mike West has definitely grown into a much more, capable fox.
It's just Slippy. Oh, and if that instance occurs where more than one character enters the fray, you can select between them, and I think it also acts as like a kind of a one-up thing, because normally if I was to fail, the enemy would immediately start moving right away, but let's say I lose as Slippy right now, I could automatically retry with Fox with no time penalty.
Yep. Also, I guess I'll just go ahead and say this outright. It's kind of a minor thing, but every character has their own theme song whenever they're in play.
That's cute.
Oh, nice.
I didn't notice that. Jeez. Where is he? Look on the HUD. You want to look at the big red dot. That's
but yeah, as far as Slippy's advantages are concerned, he has the plasma shot, and he has one additional smart bomb compared to Fox. Only downside is that his energy meter is a lot smaller.
Yep, there we go.
And as Logan brought up earlier, he doesn't have a lock-on feature.
But he has a lot more power, which I enjoy.
That's fair. Honestly, I feel like there's certain cases where I feel the lock-on is essential. Most notably in
some cases, yes.
Yeah, like some of the boss fights.
Oh jeez, that moves so fast. Freaking yeah, those can be a pain.
Oh yeah. Wait till we eventually meet up with Starwolf again.
Oh jeez. My time was good, wasn't it? Yes, Slippy. Yes, it was. Pat yourself on the back. Have a cookie.
I almost died if it weren't for you.
Have a cookie. Really? No.
Oh, I want a cookie.
Nom 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 nom
but
nom nom.
yeah.
You don't get any of my cookies.
So I don't know if either you or Jordy, Sealy have ever tried any like strategy games, like the ones that are like super turn-based like this.
You go first, Steely.
Sorry, I was yawning. I was hoping you'd go first.
I mean, if you want me to go first, that's
boring you again.
It's okay.
Anyway, if you want me to go first, I guess I will. I think I played at least one or two strategy-based games. I know one of them was definitely like a Dynasty Warriors game. I just don't quite remember the name of it, but it was like in the form of like a chessboard.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what I think. I don't remember.
Sounds familiar-ish.
And I can say for myself, the closest to a strategy-based game I played was Star Ocean 3.
Okay.
Was that a strategy game?
It was not an RPG. I know that much.
Actually, let me ask: do any of the Yu-Gi-Oh games count? Like we have?
Oh yes. I still own a Falsebound Kingdom. I was going to record that as a look at, and I completely forgot.
Wasn't Falsebound Kingdom is just a regular JRPG, isn't it?
I think so.
I don't know.
I also had Duel of the Roses, but I sold it on Amazon a couple years ago.
Basically,
we rented that one time.
Honestly, as far as like strategy RPGs are concerned, I always just take them as if basically if you're not controlling your character as if you're playing a game of chess, then it's not a strategy RPG.
I guess you're right.
So,
I mean, unless it's real time though, then because that's another case in itself.
Yeah, Star Ocean 3 was just like a. Like you would agree with the stats of an RPG, but it was actual fighting, like I guess Kingdom Hearts somewhat.
So it's an action RPG.
No, that's action RPG.
Thank you. Okay,
yeah, I would say
we
call. Sorry, I wasn't trying to talk over you. Yeah, we call those action RPGs where it's like that's like your Monster Hunter, your Kingdom Hearts, your.
I wasn't sure.
No, it's okay though. It's all these subgenres.
I would say. I guess to make things a little easier for you too, strategy RPG are something more along the lines of say Fire Emblem or Mario plus Rabbids.
Definitely.
Oh, I get it now.
Or heck, even what you're seeing right now. This technically counts.
Yeah, they call these. Well, okay, so I was about to call it an RTS, but it's definitely not RTS.
That would imply.
Yeah, that would be like, imagine if this wasn't turn-based and we had to move all over the place while things. That's like your Dynasty Warriors and Hyrule Warriors. That's RTS, I would think.
I gotta play Star Ocean 3 again. It's been years.
Okay, so this is something that I will continuously forget about, and I apologize. I forget that you can actually use the stylus to reveal a bit of the Fog of War by yourself.
Only downside is that you can't use it on all the fog.
Nope. You can only use it sometimes, but yeah, spoilers, James. Because I recorded this in 2 sessions, I'm going to actively forget that I can start each battle, and I'm going to be like playing it like vanilla, like let's just go in blind.
Alright, that's fair.
There we go. But yeah, no, these enemies suck, which is why I would definitely recommend, recommend multi-lock on.
Yeah. I think Fox is one of the only few characters that has multi-lock on. Or no, wait.
I think so.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember who else actually has... You know what? Let me just go ahead and look this up, because obviously we're not going to be showing off every character in the game. That would just be wasteful.
No. Only some characters. Like, all the... Well, I mean, there'll be some characters that... No, I think James will try and show off every character that, like, appears in this normal campaign.
Yeah, just the ones that appear in the normal campaign. There's obviously going to be some, like, cases where you can literally stray off the beaten path and meet up with other characters that are probably not in, well, the normal campaign. Like, I want to say one of them is Kat from Star Fox 64.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely don't think
who honestly got a weird as fuck makeover for this game. Like, she barely resembles the original Kat.
We'll see. Okay, let's move out here quickly. Where is he? There he is. But, yeah, just these controls, I wish I didn't have to use the stylus with stuff like this.
I guess. I mean, honestly, I will say, like, with the stylus controls, it does make controlling the R-Wings themselves a little more freeform than, say, like the Star Fox 64 and whatnot. I mean, my only real problem with this game... Well, okay, you know what? I should just go ahead and get this out of the way. My main problem with Star Fox Command isn't so much, like, the gameplay itself, but more so the variety in the gameplay, which is, like, very slim to none.
Do you like this combat? Because that's all you're going to see for the next 2 parts, which will total to about an hour and 10 minutes.
Save for maybe 1 or 2 other offshoots, but otherwise it barely strays from the beaten path, and it gets very tedious or repetitive as a result.
So this is one of those instances where I really apologize. I know... Oh, there he is. I know that this game definitely is worth, like, more than that, but if you're watching this and you are not really a fan of this, I have to be honest with him, James. Like, if you're watching this and this really isn't exciting you, then there's nothing I can really do to make this any more entertaining. Like, this is what the game has to offer. It has an audience, and from what I played, it was very enjoyable.
Up to a point.
But definitely, if that there, in the last couple stages, if this part has not convinced you to try the game out, then there's nothing wrong with just saying it's not really... Yeah. It's the furthest that... This is technically the furthest... These guys have so much health, I hate them. But there's nothing really wrong with... what I'm trying to say. Crap. It is technically the farthest we've ever seen one continuous Star Fox story go. It's kind of like how technically... I want to say... it's kind of like how technically Metroid Fusion is the furthest we've ever gone in the Metroid fandom. In the Metroid story.
Wow, that's all there was.
Yeah. But he has so much help. That's
why. But honestly, it's also because of this game why the franchise got rebooted afterwards. Because there's really no way you could continue from this.
Well, yeah, especially because there's like so much.
There's so many endings and there's no proper resolution. Like, if you're gonna do a new game after this, you'd have to acknowledge that most, if not all, these other endings are non-canon.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of also the reason why Shadow the Hedgehog, I mean, having a final story be damned is like, dude.
Don't worry, I got a missile.
Okay, good. Better be wary of that. But anyway, yeah, no.
Yeah, all it takes is one. Yeah, the Great Fox. Yeah, the Great Fox has 0 defenses. All it takes is one attack, and they're dead. Anyway, go ahead,
love how melodramatic Rob is too when he bites the dust.
Goodbye, cruel world. Like, seriously, he says that. Anyway, go ahead, James.
But anyway, going back real quick. I mean, say what you will about Shadow the Hedgehog. The reason why it has a definitive ending to it is because, well, you kind of have to continue from the franchise or consider the whole thing non-canon. Personally, I would rather consider it non-canon, but that's not Sega wanted, so that's why that happened.
Yeah. So, genuinely, I mean... Genuinely, I'm okay with... I genuinely did enjoy Zero, and I hope to see them do more with it, maybe with a better control scheme.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. I mean, again, I do appreciate that they sort of acknowledged it with Star Fox, or excuse me, with Starlink. But otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a proper sequel to it, even if, well, if the original Zero bombs as bad as it did.
Which I am still... Nice, smart bomb.
There we go.
Which I am still... Wow, that's still... They have so much health. Anyway, I don't know if I already asked about this. Yes, on it, Rob. Is it... if I enjoyed Star Fox, like, let's say I just enjoyed Star Fox, is Starlink a purchase that I would also then like?
I would say the gameplay is close enough to the original Star Fox to consider giving it a shot.
Okay.
Just expect a lot of other things that don't
seconds.
Just expect a lot of other things that don't quite mesh with the formula as well as you'd think.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord,
okay.
you're pressed for time, dude.
Okay, I lied, Hype. It is not locked to one ship. You all share one fuel. So we're gonna die.
Fare thee well, cruel world. I knew thee well. No! I'm out of fuel!
I got fuel. I got a fuel orb right there. You saw it.
That's crap.
I should have been like a freaking. So when you run out of time, you lose one fighter. So that is now, I believe. I don't know if that counts as a life or not. We'll have to check. I had 5 starting this, but
I'm just thinking to after seeing that display, I'm just thinking to myself. It's not so much the matter that Fox ran out of fuel. It's like Fox is more like, okay, screw this. I'm going home. Stop, Fox, no! You're on your own, Slippy.
Who cares about Fachina anyway? All it had was a really bad Star Wolf fight.
And here we were going to read you a nice little eulogy.
What is that?
Alright.
Shall we, Steve?
Okay.
Go ahead.
One day, Fox and Crystal were sitting on the couch together aboard the Great Fox. Then suddenly, Fox.
Actually, hold on, real quick, Hype. This is actually something new. Logan, if you would explain.
We have to reenact the ending to Independence Day for real this time, not like James accidentally did, and go through all of these little target spaces and then spin attack the sucker.
Just like
and
that.
destroy a mothership. But you'll see that happen a couple times where that's basically like, think of it like flying through the rings, except, they can't actually use rings because those are actually collectibles. But that's how the game has you say, fly this direct path. If you miss even one, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
back to the
eulogy.
Oh, actually, hold on a second.
What?
Whenever you liberate a base, you get 2 free turns. So definitely try and.
They're not going to let us go along with that eulogy. It's fucking Star Wars.
Hype.
I can't let you make the commentary interesting by reading a bad fan fiction. I knew what you were doing this whole time.
Okay, no, in all seriousness, no, go back to your eulogy. It's just Star
Wolf
again.
We're just going to be fighting the Star Wolf team again. Go ahead.
All
okay.
Right. When suddenly Fox noticed a small and cute little compact box. Then he glanced up at Crystal and picked up an interesting scent, and it definitely wasn't incense left over from when Slippy celebrated Lent, whatever that is.
What?
Lent? What?
Slippy's confirmed Catholic?
Anyway. Oh holy frickin' starships in heaven, you're smoking again, asked Fox as he nervously shook. Can I have a pack? Just one, okay? Don't give me that look.
You're imagining things, Fox.
Said Crystal with glee.
Of course you can have a pack. This one's on me.
Let's fight.
Just keep in mind to only do this in fanfics that are rated T.
Oh yeah, Crystal, that's definitely a deal. Now hand me a lighter, and my sunglasses of steel, said Fox.
Why are we
Use your lighter, my king,
said Crystal, and
why
to
are we
be
doing
honest,
dramatic
Logan,
reading?
because whatever's in this is likely more interesting than what's in this devil damn game.
Oh jeez, it's Star Wolf. We're fighting Star Wolf, and you can hear a really crummy 8-bit. You can hear a really crummy 32-bit remix of Star Wolf's theme that I love. Although I'm sorry, I still gotta say that Zero's got my favorite remix of it.
Zero and Assault.
God, it's such. Oh God, the choir and Zero was so good. Okay, fine. Go with the stupid fanfic.
And here's your sunglasses that make you look like your dad, but I'll let you in on a secret. I think they look rad.
I do too.
I almost thought you were going to say. I'm so sorry. I almost thought you were going to say they make you look like your dad, but I'll let you in on a secret. He's dead.
That's terrible.
Well, it's true.
Anyway, as he smoked his...
And Fox is all like, shut up if I wear them, it makes it feel... Okay, this is actually getting really sad. Continue with the dumber one. That's more positive than me.
Okay, as he smoked his first puff, I look real macho, like I'm tough looking.
No one has ever used the words puff and macho in the same sentence and meant it.
Then suddenly Fako came into the room along with Slippy, holding a dustpan and broom.
Alright, I'll be Slippy. I'm cleaning up the Great Fox of its dust and mold. I don't know boundaries, but I am quite bold.
Why are they here?
Slippy.
Why are they always here?
I don't know.
Because Slippy's here, Fox. Slippy's always here.
He's like Meowth, he's always here.
Sorry, James. How are you doing? I hate that bar.
I was about to say the same.
Thanks for that. My words exactly, Wolf. I'm so sorry to have to put a pause on that engaging read, but we're gonna have to wait until the next part to continue, so that there's actually true stakes for the people at home to watch.
Are you saying that? Are you saying that Fox's crippling smoke addiction isn't an actual stake?
No, but I tell you one problem that's hard to calculate. That's smoke addition. Thank you all so much for watching the first part of a sort of a mega look at. So as we mentioned, there are multiple campaigns, and similar to Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm going to show off one the first campaign path you can take, and yeah, that's about it. See you all next time.
Till next time.
Bye bye.
Winners don't use drugs.